Hi everyone, my name is Arina, and today I decided to do this video because I wanted to share my journey in the United States because I was there for 5 years and a half. I went through a lot of injuries, ups and downs. I met incredible people, and I think it's good to share this because sometimes you think you're by yourself getting through all those things, but you're actually not. So that's why I wanted to share this, and I hope you like it. So how everything starts. So when I was 6 years old, I started playing tennis in a really small town in France, in Burgundy. Over there is not a lot of things to do. There is basically more none than anyone else. All you can do is like soccer, basketball, gymnastic, but I would not do that. Swimming, not really good at it. And tennis. So when we were in school, they gave us a flyer, and my mom was like, okay, just go and try. If you like it, you continue. If you don't like it, it's fine. You do something else. So she bring me, and my coach back then, who was then my coach for 10 years, told my mom, oh, you're pretty athletic. She would be good at it. So then I just continue and I played it until now, and I'm 24. And so yeah, by the age of 8, I was already doing so many tournaments all over France, practicing 3-4 times a week, and going to school. Had a different schedule, going to school at 8, done at 4, going to practice and all over again, and having tournaments during the weekend. And that was my life. I mean, I was used to this. I'm still used to that. I think even now I still think, oh, I have a tournament this weekend, but I don't. But I just got used to it, the rhythm, and I loved it, and I never stopped. So yeah, so why I went to the US? I went to the US because when I was 13, I had my first injury already. I broke my tibia in a really stupid way. I'm not gonna explain how because it was too stupid. And then there was so many complications. I had like 3 surgery after that because the doctor messed up. They never admitted, but they messed up. And so yeah, for like 3-4 years after this, I went to a lot of doctors to figure out what was the issue and if I would be able to play again. And the motivation went down because obviously when you're an athlete, you don't play. It's pretty hard, even at a young age, because you think that's your whole life and you don't know anything else. So yeah, that was hard. But then at some point, it was better, it went better, it was okay. So I started playing tennis again, but I was like, I would say 15, 16, and tennis, if you don't practice every day, your level went down and then you stays the same, and then everyone else goes up, and then you have the same ranking. You even play not as good as before because if you don't practice, obviously, you don't get better. But when I was 16, I started playing again because my body was feeling better. And then my parents was like, okay, what do you want to do? Do you still want to play tennis or you just want to do study? And my dad was like, you did too much just to stop, like now. So I kept playing and I was like, okay, let me just have a good level, okay level, so I could try going somewhere, doing something, and maybe get a scholarship to go to the United States. And that's what I did. And one of my best friend, he went to the US 1 year before me, and he told me, okay, Arina, you really have to do this because school would love to have you in a good D1 school because you're tall, you hit hard, and that's what they like. And I was like, okay, I would try. So he helped me through all this. I had to do all this English exam, the SAT, the TOEFL, so hard. Not harder than the final French high school degree that you need to do, diploma that you need to do. But it was pretty hard because the English, when you're French, the English is pretty bad. So my English was not as good. So it was tough, but I made it. And actually a funny story, the day I had to do my exam, like the TOEFL exam that they called, I missed my train. I mean, I didn't miss it, but I went to the wrong train. So my exam, I think it was at like 10 a.m. and I took the train at 7, and it was 2 trains on the station, and I went through in the wrong one, so I went in the other direction, and then I was in the train, and then I heard, last stop, Auxerre, and I'm like, oh, I need to go to Bourg-en-Bresse. What is happening? And then I called my dad. I was crying. I was like, Dad, I'm not gonna go to the US. I'm gonna miss my exam. And then he was like, okay, it's fine. You just go out. You go on the other side, take the other train from the other direction, and I pick you up in Dijon, and I drive you there. So then I think it was just an hour, not even that. So it was okay. And it's just 2 hours drive. So then my dad was like, okay, let's go. So he closed his shop. He drove so fast. And I made it like 15 minutes early. And I was like, yes, I'm not going to mess up. So then I made it. I passed the exam. And the thing is that was my last chance to take it because I already messed up the first time. So if I wouldn't make it that one, I wouldn't go. So thanks God I did. So yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be here right now. But yeah, I did it. And then in January 2018, I went to the United States. So I think I need to explain how it works a little bit, like how you get to the US and how it's, maybe a lot of people knows, but maybe some people don't know. So basically, most of the time you have an agent that helps you, so you have to pay for it and stuff like that. But you can also go by yourself. And then you do a video, you put it on YouTube. Coaches looked at it, they see your French ranking. It's pretty easy when it's a French ranking because it's pretty like relevant to your tennis level, sorry, because a lot of countries different, but French is pretty good. So then they contact you. You have like, back then there was no Zoom, so it was Skype video call. And I'm lucky because my dad speaks English, so he was there helping me. Then you talk to so many coaches, and you honestly don't even know what is D1, D2, NIA, all those things. You don't know. So it was pretty hard. Thanks God, my best friend, he knew it, so he told me just look at D1 school, the rest, no, don't look at it. So then I looked at it, and then my coach that contacted me was Southern Mississippi. I mean, you have a lot of different schools, but that was the one that really that I really liked, and then the coach really wanted me, and my dad, my family felt that as well, so I went there. So when I arrived in Mississippi, it's pretty different than France or even any places, I would say, even in US, because it's the South. They have a tough background, I would say. And so when I arrived, crazy thing, I thought it was gonna be hot 24/7. I read it was snowing, and it was the first time in like 5, 10, I don't even know, so many years that it was snowing, and I was like, what is that? Like, I thought it was gonna be hot, like 30 degrees or something, and it's snowing. So I read it was snowing, it was super cold. It was like 1 a.m. or something like this. The airport was super, super small. The assistant coach, like, she picked me up, and then she bring me in my room, but I had nothing. Like, I had no pillow. Thanks God I bring the blanket. I just had like one blanket on me. Nobody in the room. I was like, what is that? I was hungry. I had nothing. But then the next morning, one of my teammates, she texted me. She's like, hey, you want to have breakfast? And then I was like, okay. I'll just open my eyes. I went downstairs, and then I looked at the campus. It was huge. Like, we had a clinic in the campus, a Subway, Starbucks, a crazy football stadium, like 3, 4 training room and weight room, and like, yeah, it was crazy. And I was like, oh, so I'm gonna live here for like 4 years. That's gonna be nice. So yeah, then I had to get to the rhythm. I had to go to classes. So what he works there is like, basically, you have weight sometimes at 6 a.m. So you do 6 to 8 a.m. weight. Then you come back, you shower real quick. You have class at 8 until 8 to 10. Then sometimes you have individuals or you don't. So if you have a chance, you just go back to sleep because you're tired. And after this, you have 2 or 3 classes, and you have to go eat. Then you have practice at 3. You go back to practice. And So this was actually pretty fine because at first it's hard, but then it's okay. The hardest part was classes because English, first of all, wasn't the best at first. And second of all, I was in the South, so they have a Southern accent. It's basically like in France, if you go to the South, the accent is pretty strong. So that was pretty hard to understand. And then if it was math classes and stuff like that, it's easy. Everywhere in the world is the same thing. But one of my first classes, it was business law in a big classroom in like 100 students. And then the professor just talking, Southern guy, Southern accent, talking like, hey, y'all, and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to pass this class. But lucky enough, I had good teammates, good friends that were in the same class as me. They helped me. So I passed all my classes first semester. I was happy about it. So that was good. And also the other big difference now is like, when you go to college and you play tennis, that is such an individual sport, you're not used to have people around you when you play, cheer for you. Most of the time you have your parents or like your coach, maybe your friend comes to see you, but like there, you basically have like five other teammates playing next to you, cheering for you, screaming during the points. It's not even like a quiet sport anymore because everyone is screaming. The coaches is there coming on the courts, coaching you between all the points and stuff like that. So it's something like you have to really get used to it. And I know a lot of people, it's hard because like you really self-center when you play tennis, but then when you go there, you cannot be like that because you're not just playing for yourself, you're playing for like a team, for the school, so it's pretty different. And yeah, that's hard at first, but then you actually like it because it gets pretty lonely. And when you play college, you don't feel that as lonely as you used to when you play tennis, so it's pretty good. And you have a different aspect of the sport. You don't see it the same way. You see it more as a team sport, and that's pretty cool. And that's what after the first semester was hard, but then after you're like, okay, it's actually pretty nice because you enjoying it much more. And you have teammates that you basically hang out 24/7 with. You have practice classes with them, and yeah, you can complain about everything about them, about the coaches, about the practices, everything. So it's pretty nice. And then that's basically the only family that you have because you're an athlete, you're an international student because you're far from home. It's not like you call your parents and they can just come and see you because they like have to fly like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours. And so like the only people you have is your teammates and the friend that you made there. So it's pretty important that you choose the right school, you with the right people, you choose the right people, I would say, because during that time, you're pretty young, so like 18, 19, and that's when you basically learn the most about yourself because you go to college, you're by yourself now. You don't have your parents. If you get sick or something, you have to go to the clinic, figure it out, the medicine, all these things. You have to go do your homework. Nobody's behind you. Hey, Arina, or whatever. You have to do your homework, stuff like that. So yeah, that's like something you really need to learn. But the good thing is like you have people. If you have a good like friend group, stuff like that, that helps you get through it. So that's one of the best thing as well, because when you're in a tennis team, most of the time, everyone is international. There's not a lot of American. So everyone is like, knows what you feel, and that's like really good. So when you feel like homesick or stuff like that, you always have someone to talk about it. And that's amazing. I mean, I was lucky enough to have a really good teammate that has like, they're basically my best friend now. Like they're from all over the places, like Australia, Slovenia, Austria, like everywhere. And that's honestly pretty cool. And thinking about it right now, like there was no way if I would like just stay here in France that would meet people from everywhere, even Dubai or everywhere. So that's amazing. And yeah. So it's a lot of like positive things, but obviously it's not only positive all the time because it's like everything, like there is ups and downs. So for me, I would say the hardest part is like it was like going through injury because during my, I think no, during my senior year, I had a big knee injury. I tore my patellar tendon, and basically I did not tore it like straight away. It was like overusing it. So over the years I always had like tendinitis, but I played through it because I had to. And one of the things in college, you cannot just like sit down, stuff like that. So like coach is pushing you because they need you to play, like especially if you're in the lineup. Because like for 4 years I was playing one, so if you don't play, the whole lineup goes down. So you have to play, especially like important matches. So even though you're injured, even though you hurt, it doesn't matter. You have to play. They give you ibuprofen. They love to give you ibuprofen. That's the medicine. Even though you know it doesn't do anything, at some point you don't even take it. You're like, whatever. I'm in pain. It's fine. I played 2 hours. I'm hurt, but it's fine. I can do it. So I did this for like a long time, but like my senior years, I mean, my body said stop basically because it's like everything. When you reach a point, it just said stop. And I tore it basically. I couldn't like barely walk, like even walking, it was painful. And so then I had to make a decision, and it was hard because COVID happened during that. I mean, I think that was the year after all the COVID. So we had our COVID year that they call. So basically they gave us another year. So during that year, we didn't even play. And after this, I had my knee problem. So basically I did not play for 2 years. And that was mentally pretty hard. And I was like, okay, either I just finish my bachelor degree and that's it. But even though I still had to do something with my knee because life goes on, it's just not the sports. You still have to do things in your life, like even if you just want to run, I couldn't even run or do anything. So like my physio when I was there, I was pretty lucky. We had pretty good physio. They were pretty good with us, especially like mentally they help us a lot. Because it's pretty hard. You're like in a training room all the time. Even my strength conditioning coach was super good, and I'm really thankful for that because you still have to go to practice even though you don't practice, so you have to be there just watching them play. The hardest thing when you're an athlete, you know, is the worst thing to, like, you hate that. And then you still have to go to conditioning because you don't do anything with your knee, but you still do workouts, and then you also have rehab on top of that, then you still have practice. So you basically have more things to do than when you like physically good, but you cannot play. So it's the worst thing. So I had to do this for a long time, even though before my surgery. But then I did everything, basically. I did cortisone shots, PRP injection, so many treatment. I went to see so many doctors, and then basically the last resource was like, okay, just do the surgery. So then in I think October 2021, I had my knee surgery, and basically this surgery is kind of like when you tore your ACL. You need like 8 months or maybe more to come back. So the surgery wasn't gonna be the hardest part. It's more like the rehabbing parts. But yeah, I did it, and it was hard, pretty hard. But lucky enough, I had good friends around me that helped me. The first day when I came back from the hospital, my friend, she was cooking for me every day. I was laying down on the couch, and that was amazing. My friend coming, helping me, and all this, giving rides on campus because the campus is pretty big. So walking distance, everything is far. You go from class to class, like 15 minutes, and you go to tennis courts, like 20 minutes. So those rides, I'm really lucky. Thank you, Monique, for giving those rides, cooking for me also. So yeah, that was amazing. And then really good group of friends, not just tennis, all the sports. Um, and most of the time you like built a really good bond with like international students because they get through the same thing. So we had really good friend in like the soccer team from Germany as well. So that was also amazing. But yeah, the injury was hard, but it was okay. It's just like obviously it's hard when you laying down on the bed right before the surgery, you by yourself. Like your parents are not there. It's just you. So honestly, I had a panic attack right before they made me sleep. I was like, oh shit, it's scary, but it was okay. And that's when you realize that you have to go through a lot of things by yourself in life, and that was one of the first thing. I had to get through it, and it was hard, but it was okay, and I made it. So yeah, and then it wasn't done. So after this, I was actually able to come back after 6 months, and a lot of people, even my coach back then, he was like, I don't think you'll be able to come back. It's a tough injury. And then I was like, okay, if you don't think I will be back, I will be back. Because that literally just pissed me off. So the fact that pissed me off, I wanted to be back even more because the coaching staff, they basically, I would say, didn't believe in me. But I was like, okay, if you say so, it's fine. I don't care. So that actually motivated me a lot. And I had my trans conditioning coach. She was amazing. She was like taking the time to do extra workout with me. I had my friend as well to always motivated me and then be like, I mean, Arina, we know you will be back. It's okay. So that was also amazing, and I was super lucky with that. And then also the physio, the trainer, they were super good and they helped me a lot. So I want to say like in college, the coaches, what they want is to play. Like they always tell you like, oh, you're important for the team. I care about you and stuff like that. But it's like even like professional teams, when you're injured, then they really quickly forget about you. So you have to be tough and be like, okay, they don't care about me anymore, but I want to prove them wrong because I know what I'm capable of and I know I will be back better, stronger, and so yeah, that's what I did, and I got a lot of help from it, and because you cannot do it by yourself. It's like a lot of things in life. Sometimes you think you can do stuff by yourself, but you can't. You need help, and you need to ask for help because obviously there is the pride, but you have to put your pride aside and to ask for help, even though it's hard, and because obviously you're gonna struggle um, in a lot of ways, in a lot of things, mentally, physically, and everything. So just ask, just just ask, and if someone cannot help you, someone else will help you, and yeah. So yeah, after this knee things, they were like, I got back pretty fast, so then the coaches were happy and everything. But they wanted me to be back in the team and stuff like that. But I basically told them, you know what, you didn't want me in the team basically. So if you don't want me in the team, I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna play for someone who didn't want me. So I left, I transferred when I was done with my bachelor, and I went to another school. I went to like a D2, pretty good D2 school, and for like a year and a half to do my master's. So In 2022, January, I went there and I played for, yeah, like I said, a year and a half. But I basically just played for 1 semester because I had another injury. I think it's like, it's my life as an athlete, and I think it's normal, but that's the worst thing. So basically, yeah, just this year in March, I had another injury. I tore my TFCC. Is it TFCC? Yeah, I think TFCC. Tendon here on my wrist, and basically I'm still trying to come back. Even though I'm done with college, I still love tennis, so I still want to play. But yeah, I had to go through another injury. It was tough, and sometimes you feel like it's not fair because you're like, okay, I'm already only 22, 23, 24 now, and I already had like 5 injuries on my body, like related to sports. So it's like, it's a lot, and every time you have to go through rehab, and then you have to, when it's the knee, you have to start learning how to walk again and stuff like that. When it's the wrist, you have to learn how to just bend your wrist like that, like easy way just to write, like easy things like this, just shower, tie your hair, and all of stuff like this. But that's my journey, and I guess I don't know why it happens to me, but it happened to me. So it's fine. But yeah, a lot of injuries. So anyone that has to go through injury, I know how it feels. I know it's hard, but you'll be back. You just have to do what you have to do. Listen to your physio, do the extra work that you have to do, and sleep good. Sleeping is important. Like sleeping is a part of the recovery. Eating good, all those little things, and you'll be fine. I'm fine. Still not back fully, but I'm fine. But I think also, honestly, I was able to be fine because I stopped thinking that my sport was my whole life. Because when you do this when you start doing this at a really young age, you forget basically who you are because you think you're just an athlete, and no, you're more than that, and you have to learn how to love it. Some, like anything else, like learn how to love how to, I don't know, do sports without thinking I'm doing this because I have to be back on the court. Just because you just have to do this because you like it, because you want to do it, and to find new hobbies. For me, when I was injured, I bought a camera and I start vlogging about everything, just like doing funny videos with my friend, recording them, and start learning how to edit. I'm not that as good, not super good at it, but it was fun just to do something else. And this year, when I had my wrist injury, I just started doing a podcast with my friend because I was like, okay, what do I do? I just go to class and then just complaining? No, I have to find another way to express myself and to think about something else, because you just overthink and you just think about your whole life. What am I gonna do now? When school is done, where am I gonna go? Stuff like this. So yeah, really trying to find something. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but like, yeah, trying to find something that you enjoyed outside of your sports and that you can relate, and yeah, that you can lean on when you cannot lean on the things that you always did in your life. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's one of the last things, but one of the most important things that I will talk about. So when you when you do this college and stuff like that, it can be really hard. So like the rhythm is insane. Like the rhythm is crazy. You can have like practice, and then you have like 3-4 matches a week. So 3-4 matches a week is basically like you play single matches, you play doubles, and this, so basically six matches of that during the same week, and then you have practice stuff like this. So it can be really hard. So mentally it's super hard. And when I think I was my sophomore year, I honestly, I don't know if it was like, I don't know what happened, but like I was just feeling super low all the time, and I could not figure it out why. And you just get into this weird mood 24/7, and you cannot like put yourself up. And I was like this for like, I don't know, like a semester, stuff like that. And one of the things I think a lot of people is like that, when you're an athlete, you get really good with like hiding your emotion, especially in tennis, because that's what your whole life coach is telling you. Yeah, you cannot show your emotion on the courts because then your opponent can see. But then is reflect on your life, because when you don't feel good, nobody can really see it. But sometimes it's not good because, yeah, you just like, you see everything super dark all the time, and then you're like, okay, but you don't know why. That's the thing. You just feel low, but you don't really know why. And that was pretty hard for me my sophomore year, and I didn't really know why. But one of my best friend now, she was my teammate, the captain also. She just, I don't know, she just saw something was off. And she was like, yeah, Arina, I think we need to talk. And I'm like, why? Because I hate talking about my emotion, and I think a lot of people is like that. And she's like, yeah, I don't think you're good lately, and then I think you need to talk. And I was like, okay, yeah, I guess. And I needed a lot of weeks to actually share. And I still now, I still don't really know, but I just needed to talk. And then about, I don't know, like, be like, okay, tennis was doing good, classes was doing good, but you just overthink about the future and stuff like this, because you go to college, but you know you're not, it's gonna be hard to be a professional. So you're just like, why am I doing that? Why am I putting myself in so many physical pain, and mentally hard, and then away from the family, missing a lot of things, birthday, and even your own birthday. Like when you have siblings, you're like, just stupid things. Like, I have a sister, I have older brothers. You're like, oh damn, I wish I could just go and see my sister. And then, or like, if your siblings calls you, they don't feel good. The only thing you can do is like answering the phone. But like, yeah, you wish you could be there for your family, even your friend back home, but you can't. So this can be hard, and then sometimes you just need to see the bright side about life, and then not seeing only negative all the time. And that's what I learned over the year, with the injuries, and with the friend also that helped me to see that life is not just one way, there is different way. And if it's not the way you want it to be, it's okay. You'll be fine. And yeah, that's what I learned. And for me, it was just talking to friends, but I know some people is like, I don't know, going to see, I don't know, counselor or something like that. So it's fine. You don't need to be ashamed about it. You just have to talk about it, and not just being on by yourself, and just like being on your own. So yeah, so that was the thing. And this also made you realize that you build a huge family around you. You choose your friend, and that's really important. You have to choose really good, and trust the right people. And that's what I learned to do, because when you go far, the friend that you had back home, they're not gonna stay your friend, because a lot of them, they just want they just take advantage of you. They just like, oh, yeah, bring me this, bring me that. They just talk to you whenever you come back. They never reach out to you or anything like this. So that's when you realize who are your real friend, and that you can really lean on, and that the friend that basically you can call anytime when you need it, talked about everything, that tell you the truth when you messed up, because some people, they don't want to hurt your feelings, but sometimes you really need to someone that tell you what's wrong, that you messed up, that you need to figure it out. And also like friend that makes you laugh when you feel like shit. And yeah, all of this. And basically that's the people you choose. And there is a family, obviously, that my family, they did so much for me, and I'm super grateful for that. And I'm not from a family that has money, and tennis is expensive, so everything that they did for me, it's crazy thinking about it now. And super grateful, super happy. So thank mom, dad, and my siblings. And I'm also thankful for even my coaches, because even though sometimes you don't have the best relationship with the coaches, obviously, because what they want is to win. So yeah, but they help you to build the character, build who you are. And you have to take the good things out of it, not only thinking about the bad things, because it's easier to think about the bad things and forget about the good things. So yeah, this as well. And obviously all the teammates and the friend that you made along the way, it's amazing. And they yeah, that's basically amazing. So yeah, going to college in the US was a crazy journey, fantastic journey, and super happy that I did that. Super happy that it's done, mainly because of school. That was the the hardest part. But yeah, it was good, and I honestly recommend it to anyone that has the chance to do that in any sports. It's not just tennis. You can do in soccer, basketball, lacrosse, even random sport that we don't know here back in Europe, lacrosse, football, if you want to do American football, sorry. And baseball, I don't know, like golf, even sport that you don't even think about it, like wrestling, or yeah, all sport. They do bullying as well. People don't know that, but they do bullying also. So yeah, just do it, and also don't really listen to a lot what people say, because a lot of people put you down and say that that's not good for you, that is, you're not gonna take anything out of it. But just do it, and because it's your life, so just do whatever the hell you want to do. At the end of the day, you're the one that's gonna get this experience and not them. So yeah, that's it. Thank you, and I hope it's gonna help someone. And yeah, I was happy to share that. I think it was important for me. And yeah, thank you.
Vas-y. Bonjour, je m'appelle Arina Amanouk et j'ai bientôt 10 ans.